And here we are. Welcome, episode 23 of On the Game with the Wild Boar. Back in black in 2016. Here with me, as always, is Benjamin.
Happy New Year.
Happy fucking New Year.
It's February.
In February. No, it's not. Is it?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, no, it's January. Okay. It's practically February. So, Ben's been in Vietnam. Did you do any gaming on the plane or anything like that? Or anything at all?
Well, yes. I played, I continued my games with, what's it called? Grim Fandango, currently on PSN for free. Cheers.
I think I've given up on that.
I paid for it. I'm so close to the end. I know I'm close to the end because I've had to consult a walkthrough a few times. So I'm definitely kind of on the last section, I think. But yeah. I mean, why did you stop before I go too far?
Because where or why?
Why?
Look, I think we were saying this in the last one. Just, I got to a point, I got back in, I was like, I don't know what I have to do next. I can't be bothered. And also, this is just painstakingly slow. So I need to go in with a guide or something, at least for a little while, just to kind of get me back into where I was.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's going to take me a while to get back into get enthusiastic about it again.
I think you agree with that. I kind of like it. It's got a certain charm to it. The art style, the voice acting, all of that. But it is kind of infuriating in the sense of, the puzzles. Some of them are just so kind of abstract. Why you have to kind of, think what you would do with this, random object you've picked up, and that by the very virtue of the fact that it is an object that you can pick it up, that therefore you can use it somewhere. But oh god, it is still quite annoying sometimes. But I'm close to the end. I'm going to finish it. The question begs the question about Double Fine's other game. Was it they're behind Broken Age as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
So is it the same kind of problem solving and puzzles as in Grim Fandango, or is it a little bit kind of more modern in the sense that you're getting hints and it's a bit more kind of intuitive?
Yeah, I mean, it's more modern. It's definitely moved on. And it feels less like a chore, and it feels more fun in Broken Age. I mean, by the end, that it does start to become more of a chore. I think it kind of, the first half, like Broken Age Part 1 or whatever, feels more like fun and inventive, and especially because when you're on the ship, you're kind of mucking about a little bit anyway. Whereas Grim Fandango, it's a lot like, and also you've got, I know it sounds really stupid, but like you click on like a door, if you double click, it goes straight through to the next thing. And there's not that much traveling. Whereas Grim Fandango, sometimes just to travel from one thing to another, you're just like, fuck, it's just taking so fucking long. But Grim Fandango feels like that's concentrated so much on, here's the complicated puzzles. Whereas Broken Age, it feels a bit more, natural, not as leading, not really with clues and stuff.
Yeah,
just fits together.
Well, that's something that Grim Fandango doesn't really bother with, isn't it? So I mean, sometimes it's quite hard to know that you even can interact with something, because it's all to do with whether he's, one of the things you have to kind of pick up is that sometimes he's actually looking at something. If his head tilts in one direction or another, it depends on whether he's actually looking at something that you can interact with, and it can be quite annoying to pick up. Anyway, knowing that I wouldn't have the internet on the plane or elsewhere, I kind of went to play another game. So I've been playing Bastion. Have you played that?
Yeah, I didn't complete it, but I got quite far in it. Not through like just not wanting to, just it was on my iPad, and I started not to use my iPad as much generally. So that just kind of got left behind as well a little bit. Okay. But I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I mean, it's obviously very similar to, I've done it backwards. So I played Transistor first because it wasn't one of the PSN games. And I'm pretty sure Bastion was on PSN as well. Otherwise, why would I have it? Maybe I bought it. Who knows? But it's cool. The same kind of similar kind of noir themed voiceover, and the action is less tactical than it is in Transistor, but it's still pretty cool. It's quite fun. Visually, it's very interesting. Quite enjoying it. I think it works perfectly on Vita. Worth a go. How about yourself? What have you been
playing? So, I mean, overall, ever since like fucking September or something like that, all I've been playing is Metal Gear Solid 5. Well, not all I've been playing. I mean, I talk about the other stuff I've been doing, but that's taken up the absolute majority of my time. I've been streaming it online, literally every moment. I need to clean up the YouTube a little bit, but if you
every waking moment,
every moment I've been playing it online, I've been playing it at all. It's all up there on YouTube. So if you really wanted to, you could literally walk through my gaming life with me over the last few months with this game. But yeah, I'm starting to get to the end now. But it's at a point where, so I'm up to mission like 45, 46 or something like that. But like most of these, are now like the old missions, but with different parameters, like extreme or just, you know, it ups the difficulty, or you go in with no weapons, or you get if you get found, it's game over. Bam, 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 or something like that. And but so I'm kind of like just doing little side missions until the next story mission opens up, because now I'm just like trying to sprint for the ending now, because I think this is taking way too long. And also I'm just a little bit, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm just a little bit tired of like the helicopter, in and out the helicopter, running across the thing, bam, 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 do a few things. And it's like, it's really fun, but it's just.
Do you get his do you get the credits every time you get in a helicopter? Oh God.
And I do really like it, don't get me wrong, but it's just it's too much. I never thought I'd say that about a game, but it's not really that varied. It's just great fun. It's good fun to play, but like there's one point where I'm with I've basically, like, let's just say I've finished my story with Quiet, who's the sniper woman. And there's certain side missions and things like that where they bring you back to like the same locations. So when I see like one location, I'm like, oh my God, like there's like an airplane base, for instance, and it's like, oh, escape, help the prisoner escape. And I'm like, oh, it's this fucking airbase. I'm like, I've literally been on this airbase about 25 times like throughout this game. And it's like, it is a kind of big open world, but it's actually a lot more, you kind of push through to a lot of the locations quite a lot. And it's like, all right, it's got this deep intrinsic systems of like, management stuff in terms of your base and, things you can do and stuff. And it has quite a nice process of weapons and abilities and stuff. And there's all these like things of attacking other people's bases. But now that I've gone so far and I take a step back and I look at it, I'm like, these feel like distractions from a game whereby the story just isn't that great.
So are you doing all the side missions? Is that what you're doing? Are you doing the base building and all of the optional kind of missions and, all the extra bits on the map and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I had done a lot of them anyway, but now I'm at a point where I have to do the side missions in order for the next story mission to unlock. Not because if you do this mission, this happens. But by the looks of it, it's just you reach a certain point and then it's waiting for you to do other missions so that time-wise it makes sense. It unlocks like another story mission. And I'm a bit like, no, I just want to do the story. So it's like I've got to go clear mines with the dog, because I've done quite a lot of the interesting ones now already. Or just whatever. But I'm enjoying it. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to finish the game. I want to finish the story game because I've got so many other games that I want to do.
That's the thing as well. So many games now just become they kind of become a chore before they're finished, and that's probably the case of. Well, I mean, that's the case of everything, really, to be honest. And I haven't even picked up Fallout 4 yet. It's kind of sitting there in its cellophane, waiting to be played. But if I start doing side missions in that, I bet that becomes tiresome before I reach the end. Skyrim did, although I'm happy to jump back in and play that back if it becomes available. And loads of other games do, like Destiny did, all that. So what do you call it? Far Cry 4. I mean, I didn't get anywhere because as soon as you I was kind of playing it in addition to Destiny and a few other games at the same time. But as soon as you kind of venture out into the open world, there's like a million different icons, and you're like, it's kind of paralysis by choice, isn't it? You're kind of like,
but the good thing with
what should I do?
Far Cry 4, I mean, and a lot of these like game sandbox stuff, is that at least with Far Cry 4, like I was doing some of the side stuff, and then I got to a point where I was like, I'm not getting any enjoyment out of this. Like I did from Far Cry 3, I wasn't feeling it the same way. So I just did all the story missions and got the story over and done with. And I did, and that was it. As soon as I was done, I was like, I'm never going to do any of those side things. I'm never going to go back into this game like I did Far Cry 3 or Blood Dragon. But at least it gave me that option. But with Metal Gear, I'm at a point where it's not giving me the option to do the next story mission. And also bear in mind, there's loads of like little things where you send people out and it does real time. So sometimes like I have to wait 5 days before, like 5 real days before I can get like some top recruits or whatever for my base.
But that stops you from doing the actual story missions.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it's all still like, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's a great game and it's really, really good. And I know we won't talk about it on this episode in terms of top games of 2015. But put it this way, I have been playing it since September, pretty much. Any moment I can.
Yeah.
Looks great, and I just generally enjoy playing it. But it has become. I'm at a point where I just want to get it done, and I shouldn't have to feel like that with a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry, I've been doing that. One of the things I did do, and I really enjoyed doing, was I did all Life is Strange.
Okay. Now, entertaining. I mean, is it? I heard some kind of mixed reviews about the first couple of episodes. Did it get better? What's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. Like I did him start again, I got all 5 of them, did them back to back, and when it finished, I had a certain ending which I think wasn't supposed to be the right ending, and it was very down. And then when I watched another ending online, that was obviously clearly meant to be the proper ending.
What had you done?
If you know what I mean. So I obviously chose what the developers obviously thought was like not the right choice. But essentially, the entire game does have ramifications to a point, and it has like the Walking Dead choices or Telltale choices type. But essentially, it comes down to the final decision. You have 1 or 2 different endings. But I mean, it's about like a teenage girl just trying to like, get through fucking high school, college life, or whatever. And she has the ability to like play with time. And that mechanic in itself is really good. And it's really interesting. So it means essentially you can't do anything wrong, really. Like obviously you can at some points because of the way the story has to develop. But I could like piss someone off or like just go through someone's bag. And then they're like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And then you can rewind time and just not do it. And so that, which essentially means that you haven't affected your relationship with that person, if that is important at all. Okay. And there's certain beats where there's certain major plot points which do have different outcomes. But essentially you're following the same sort of Telltale stuff. You're following like a one straight through story. Anyway, I'm kind of going off point. But everyone was like, oh, it's a bit boring. And it's got these... And it did have times of being a bit boring. But I felt like it was a really established world with great characters who, I felt like not necessarily that they were real, but they were interesting, and they like every single one, even the like periphery characters as well, even people who only had like a few words throughout the whole thing. Like I knew who they were. The main girls as well, like they were great to like listen to, talk to. It had a really great soundtrack, some great songs as well afterwards, and it brings me back into that self-reflecting tone that was throughout the entire game, which is essentially you and your friendship / like is it or isn't it romance with this girl, and all these kind of things.
Then you played this girl. Didn't you play a girl?
Yeah, you play a girl, but that's what I mean. It's like a lesbian. I think the whole point of it is that she's. I mean, it's not really referred to, but part of it is that she's not sure. She's still like finding herself in terms of her sexuality and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And yeah, and it was really good. To be honest, I really enjoyed it as a story. Playing it, and it really did invoke some emotions to the point where if I listen to the songs now that are in the game, like it really gets me going and thinking about certain points of the game, which sounds really weird because it's about a teenage girl, and I'm like a fucking 32-year-old, almost 33-year-old man, like really like sympathizing to that, and I guess that's a sign that it actually it worked and it was good.
Well, who knew that you had emotions?
I know, I really do, somewhere deep down. The only problem with it is that the last episode is really bad and really lets it down.
Oh.
It goes into like almost like a Max Payne style weird dream sequence, which doesn't work at all. It goes on for too long, doing it's really just slow and boring, which after what's happened in the first 4 episodes makes a change. In the 4th episode, like when you it's really hard to say this without actually ruining anything. The bad guy, basically,
No spoilers.
all that stuff. Yeah, no spoilers, but that all kind of comes out more in the 4th episode, and all that stuff just feels a bit weird. But okay, I'll accept it. But yeah, the last episode, it's just like, this is really crap. And then when it ended, I was like, and especially when I had that ending, I was like, oh. And then when I looked back and I went on YouTube and saw the ending, I was like, I'm just going to pretend I got that ending, because that was really like emotional and really like fuck, and it just kind of went over.
Oh, but it won't work that way if there's like a season 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I think there is going to be a season 2.
It won't work that way, will it?
That's a good point.
Out as a fraud, and your terrible ending will be in as canon.
Yeah,
to punish you for your terrible decisions.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'll play that then. Honestly,
I mean, it's weird. It's like you have to be. I'm just going to say, you have to be like in the right mood, or like I don't know. Like it was a very introspective kind of thing about a socially awkward young girl, just like at that point, at a very crucial point of her life. But it was also like a good story. Like it's trying to be a bit Twin Peaksy, which doesn't really work. But yeah, really liked it. Sorry, gone off.
Which part of Twin Peaks?
Yeah, not like the too weird part, but just
the filler stuff before.
Yeah, God, not that.
Comes in. Yeah. Cheers. No, what I was going to say is basically, I think I tend to have to be in the right mood for any game I play, really, to be honest, because kind of psych yourself up for doing whichever type of game it is. I mean, some certain types of games like Just Cause, which we'll come to in a bit, I suppose, you don't really have to be in a particular place to play them, but especially starting games. Like I'm gonna have to psych myself up to starting Fallout 4. It's gonna be like a whole face slapping ritual that goes on, and I have to like sit myself down and give myself a talking to, and then go, right, okay, let's go, let's start it, because it's going to be 40 to 60 hours. It's going to be an ordeal, like like what you're going through with Metal Gear, and eventually you're like, right, okay, let's do it, okay. But yeah, there's loads of small games that are out that I really need to be playing through. So yeah, I need to be doing that and kind of keeping, whatever big game I'm playing, keeping that going while still kind of chugging through the smaller games, I think. But yeah, that's the idea. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been playing other stuff as well. Should I go into it?
Yeah, sure. Do it.
The other big game which I've been doing because it's just getting me away from Metal Gear.
What's that?
Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
Which is okay.
Isn't that an open world game with lots of collectibles and stuff to get?
Yeah, I mean, imagine like Shadow of Mordor, except not good, and really, really, really long distances between everything, so you have to drive.
Oh,
I mean, I quite like some aspects of it, and it's done enough to kind of keep me playing, and I like the fact I can upgrade myself and I can upgrade my car, but essentially I'm just like, it's just a bit boring. I wouldn't mind if it's all kind of closer together, maybe, or if there's a bit more fast travel, but
yeah, some games just need to be way shorter, but everyone's trying for kind of 40 to 60 hour games to get, to make it worthwhile buying, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I'm sorry, it just does not work that way.
No, I mean I only got it for like 20 quid or something, but yeah, I'm just like now, same as Metal Gear, I'm just at a point where I'm just like, I'm just going to do the story and then I'm going to start. But I need to do certain things, side missions to get further in the story and stuff anyway. But yeah, but it's not, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's got that classic like Batman kind of fighting system. That's Warner Brothers staple kind of thing at the moment. And you're, kind of taking over hideouts a little bit. And the car stuff is pretty cool. But essentially it's just, I've just spent most of it just driving through a fucking desert, just trying to get from A to B.
Hardly the non-stop thrill ride of the film then.
No, exactly. So yeah, I did that. What else? Papers, Please. I was telling you about that, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm not sure I could be bothered with it, but it did look pretty wicked.
Yeah, I mean, it's good as like, it's good to play for like a little bit, but it stresses me out because essentially it's weird because it brings out a certain side of you whereby I like to do things by the book. So they give you like a certain, I mean, literally it's a case of doing it in days, and each day you get like a different rule and they get more complicated and more additional as it goes on. And all you're doing is looking at people's passports, but you've got to they've got to have the right entry and validation. Yeah, and all this stuff. And then, you get people who are like, please, you've got to let me in. Or like, this guy's going to try and come in and he's going to rape and kill me and my family, or whatever. But I just literally turned a blind eye to everything. I was just like, look, if you've got the paperwork, you can come in. I'm not going to start taking a moral high ground on all this stuff. But I just can't get far enough. I think I have to turn the difficulty down. But it's just that there's this one point where it's like, and sometimes you look at a thing, you look at the passport photo, and you literally have to go through kind of everything. And it's like, okay, it says this is this, and you're like, okay, go through it. And it says, no, that person we put down as a female. And it's like, but it's just like a bunch of pixels. Like I cannot differentiate if they're supposed to look male or female in the first place. Nice. It's just ridiculous. So things like that do fuck me off because you're just a bit like, that's not really my fault, is it? That's more the game's fault than it's my fault. But it's okay. I played it. I got into it for like a good couple of hours or so, and then I turned it off. And I don't think I'm going to go back. I might turn the difficulty down and to see how I get on. But I don't think I'll be playing it for much longer.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you played Just Cause?
No, I haven't. I know you were saying it on the last one that you were really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, okay, so if I've already mentioned it, I won't bother. But I'm still playing through it. I'm nowhere near finishing it, but it's just chaos. It's fantastic. It is a little bit repetitive in certain points, and I would say the weak points are the story missions. Sometimes you're asked to kind of escort something like a car or a person, and invariably it's just chaos, but not in a good way. And then other times you're kind of like using a sniper rifle to protect people. That was the last mission I did, and the sniping isn't all it could be. It's much better off just sending rockets and blowing shit up. That's the best. That's what it does best, to be honest. So the story missions tend to be a little bit kind of paint by numbers and a bit boring and a bit something you just have to kind of get through. But the actual kind of minute to minute chaos of just going around and liberating everything. I mean, again, it's quite repetitive, but it is fun. And the fact that there's so much to do when you actually kind of scale up your skills and things, it does change the playing field in terms of what you can do to, liberate everything. So I think it's cool. It's worth people's time. And the good thing is it's not, because there's, a completely disposable plot, it's not really something that's going to like stick on your mind in terms of like stressing you out, or you're not going to kind of get you're not going to get weighed down with it like Metal Gear Solid or Fallout or whatever, kind of going, oh, I've got to go and do this now, I've got to go and do that. You can just put it in, play it for like half an hour and blow shit up and then just turn it off. Fantastic.
Fair enough. Have you streamed any of that?
I haven't. No. Should I?
I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to stream everything now. I mean, part of the reason why I did Mad Max as well is just because I was like, I just want something that I'm not thinking about people are watching me. Because I've actually had I think the maximum was like 50 people watching me at once or something, which is quite a lot for me anyway. And people commenting and basically telling me that we're not that shit, but like, just do this, just do that. Give me whatever. It's like, no, like,
No,
it's
play it my way, thanks.
Yeah, it's like it's just me out a little bit that people that, but it's a bit weird. But so that's why I did my maths, is that I can pause it, have a piss, because I forget, like sometimes when I do an hour and a half or I'm halfway through a mission, I'm like, I just really need to go to the toilet, but I know people are watching me and I don't want to stop the broadcast halfway through this bit.
There's no button on Twitch or YouTube that says toilet break, is there?
Yeah, exactly.
Much like a podcast.
Yeah, good point.
No, the last thing I had to chat about was basically The Witness. So that's coming out this week, I believe, on PlayStation. Are you interested?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this before, so I'm going to see how it gets on. I mean, my gaming lineup is that, so I need to finish Metal Gear ASAP, basically, get out of the way. Then I was going to do The Witcher 3, but I'm thinking I might do a combination of Soma and Bloodborne, and I might stream both, maybe. And I'm Rise of the Tomb Raider to come through, and then once that comes through, I'll play that because I enjoyed it on the first one, and I want to play this one, and it will be a bit arcadey and not have to think about things too much, which I would quite look forward to. And yeah, there's something else I was going to say that I'll probably play. Oh, I've also downloaded Undertale on my Mac, the RPG thing that a lot of people are going on about, that was they really enjoyed last year.
Right.
But it's like,
is this the kind of like looks like an 8-bit type of
game? Yeah. I literally played like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, pretty old school, pretty good. So I might give that a go. Yeah, there was something else I was going to play, but I can't remember. Yeah, and obviously Witcher 3 will be the next big one. Apart from
the other thing that comes out. So I mean, I'm looking forward to The Witness. I'm really excited about that. Mainly, I think because of the visuals, but also, I mean, I suppose it looks like Myst with all its kind of stupid, fucking nonsensical kind of problems and puzzles you would never ever solve in a million years. But I think it's going to be a bit. The way I perceive it, I don't know anything yet, but as in, it's a modern game. It's developed by the guy who did Braid, and those puzzles that he put in Braid. Did you play Braid?
Yeah.
So those puzzles in Braid, some of them were like fiendishly difficult, and I remember distinctly going to work one day and thinking, "Oh God, it's really stuck in my mind." And then all of a sudden, just like mid-afternoon, suddenly thought up, "Oh, what happens if you did this?" And then went back at night, solved the problem, and that was it. And it was just the right kind of level of difficulty without it being kind of like completely, what's the word, lateral thinking, as in, oh, I've got a piece of toast, therefore I can open a key on the other side of the island. Like, what does that mean? There's none of that shit. I don't think so. I'm hoping that the puzzle mechanics will be a bit better, and then in that case, I'm kind of interested in seeing what it's like. Definitely visually looks pretty impressive, but we will see.
Yeah, we will see.
Oh, and sorry, Gone Home is coming out next week as well on Xbox and PSN.
Yeah, I heard that was like a good, like, was it like 3 or 4 hours or something?
It's not crazy long. And, you hear people sort of talk about it being, and this is their phrase, not mine, but a walking simulator, much like famed walking simulator Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
I hope it's nothing like that.
Which I hope it's nothing like. Yeah. But it does get kind of wildly enthusiastic reviews.
I've lost my cow.
What?
That was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
It was more like an old biddy
to my cows,
bitching about kind of town politics to the vicar, wasn't it? That was what was going on in Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yeah, she's black and American. What's she doing around these parts? That was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, the entire game.
the entire game.
I've just saved you money and time.
Oh God. I mean, let's discuss that another
I
time.
know we totally ripped it to death.
We haven't got enough time to unpick what that game
I
is.
know. Well, we've unpicked it before in the previous broadcast.
Reflect to earlier musings.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, dude. Well, that's that from me.
Yeah, I guess that's
Any
it.
more
Yeah.
from you?
No, I'm just trying to think what else I played. Go on.
Oh, I bought a driving wheel. I don't know if I said.
Why? For Forza.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really even use Forza that much. It was just in Black Friday, and it was like half price, so it was really cheap. And it's absolutely amazing. It is the Logitech. I can't even see the docs now. G920 or something like that. Absolutely great. I mean, it's got like force feedback and all that. It's really, really good for. I use it for Forza Horizon 2, but hopefully there'll be more driving games coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, but it's not something I'm going to use every day because I don't do driving games every day. But it is good fun. So that's
cool.
that's confusing.
Well, I guess the only other thing before we go is that mobile game wise, I've been playing The Trace, which is just basically finding clues and putting them together. It's pretty fun in a weird way.
Okay.
What else? Lara Croft Go is pretty good.
I heard that was good. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's all right. Knock a quick one out, or whatever.
Knock a quick
talk
one
about
out.
talk about the game. And The Room 3 is out as well. That's really good. They're always really good. That's it. That is it.
Now, let me just the last thing to say is I'm.
Oh,
did
I tell you I completed Tales from the Borderlands? Sorry.
You did, yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right, done. Yeah.
You liked it. You liked it
Yeah,
greatly.
It was good.
One of the things I've been thinking about is there's a game called, and it's finally come out. You can buy it on its own or part of like a load of other games, and it's different because it's not really like a game, but it's called Fibbage. And it's some kind of like, imagine like a board game for like if you had people around your house, right? Everybody can connect via Wi-Fi to your Xbox or to your PlayStation. I think it's on Xbox. I don't know, whatever. But you basically download this code and go to a web address, and everyone can play on their phone. So it's like a sort of party game thing that's coming up on the screen, and everybody puts their answers in on their own phone, right?
Right.
So it's pretty cool, right? And there are different types of games that are all kind of playable like that. So you don't need to be sitting around a table to be playing it. You can all kind of like join in on your own device and have like board games like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm going to investigate that a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, let us know. There was one thing I was going to say. Really annoying. Tales from the Borderlands, but also I was going to say that I was playing something. Oh no, that was it. Rocket League. Did I tell you that my save data corrupted?
You did. That's annoying.
So I've started again. But the good news is that I'm into the ranked positions.
What?
So I'm only on bronze, but I'm playing rather well.
Nice. I got a bit pissed at it when I logged in at yours. When I was around yours and we were doing some streaming, and I
didn't count it
like bonuses and experience, and it didn't count any of it when I signed in back at mine. It was like it hadn't happened. That actually, I mean, what? Why?
Yeah, that's weird.
Did you get any of the? Because there's been a free update, hasn't there? But there's also been paid stuff. There's been a Back to the Future thing or something.
Yeah, so I got the DeLorean car, but there's been things like Snow Day and all these different types of games. But I've just become a purist with it. I literally only want to do the ranked 3 versus 3 games now. That's all I do. So it's weird. I'm having loads of fun with it, but I've not experimented with any of the new game modes or anything. I literally go in and I play this one thing, try and up my ranking now. But man, like some of the stuff I've done has just been like, I don't know. Well, no, I don't mean to be, but it's the best one I did, I think, was the best one. I think the best goal. It was a pretty good game, but best goal was like, so when it goes to like 0, and then if it's still in the air, it still kind of waits till it goes on the ground before it says game over.
Yeah.
And I saw it go to 0, and I could see it coming over my head, and I was behind the halfway line, and I jumped up and flipped, so I knocked it, and it went
How
in.
do you do
And
that on purpose?
we won the game 3-2. And I was like, that it was probably one of the best things that's ever happened ever. Yeah, what do you mean? How to do it on purpose? I just lined it up. Sure.
Like, flip it. Flip
Yeah,
the car.
flip my car. Well, because you press X to jump, you press X again, and it flips you.
Oh, but in a reliable direction. Well, I suppose.
Yeah,
forward.
man, I'm like the king of that at the
Oh
moment.
god,
Like,
I haven't
I will
done.
literally
I need to do the tutorials.
I will literally. I haven't even done. It's just through.
I need to go and do the tutorials.
trial and error.
Or spend hundreds of hours playing it. I'll do the tutorials.
But it's like, yeah, man. Some of my goals are just ridiculous. But it's good. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, anything else?
No,
Any more for
it.
any more? Great.
So
okay.
next time we will do a 2015 review show.
Yes, where
A timely one.
But I'll give you a spoiler. Metal Gear might turn up a lot, seeing as it feels like it's the only game for like a year.
I might do something I haven't done for a few episodes now and mention, that game.
Yeah.
The game I've put down. I've put the controller down. I'm using another controller now.
Good.
Right. I might mention that in the 2015 review. I might have to, but that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, click onto. You can find us on YouTube at the Wild Boar. You can the Wild Boar TV, I should say. BORE. You can go to the website, thewildboar.com, BORE.com, where there's like probably one post every month. Twitter, which is the Wild Boar UK. And you can email us at wildboar.com. Check us out, do things, and keep gaming alive. And remember to always have fun, especially when you're in the path. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye,
everyone. Bye.